puppy. Good boy. You tired? Hello, hello, hello. Another day, another dollar, as they say. So today is another exciting day, as I normally tend to say in my videos. This is week 5, day 4, wrapping up the ending of week 5 with a 50-minute walk. Man, look how far we have made it. When we started 5 weeks ago, if I remember correctly, the maximum walk that we did was 25 minutes. Now we have since doubled that, and we're doing a 50-minute walk with more intensity and more time. So I want to congratulate you all if you all have been following me, listening to me, and keeping up with me. I know these past couple of days have been a little bit irregular because of the schedule with the holidays and PTO and whatnot. But tomorrow we will be getting right back on track with 4 days a week, starting off at week 6, day 1. Today's video is going to be mostly random. I don't have a script, but I'm going to be talking about the past couple days that I've had with my PTO, some random thoughts, and some things to look forward to. So that being said, first I'll start off with what this channel is about. If you're new, this channel is called Task With Me, and Task With Me is a channel where I hope to do various things and document myself doing them, in the hopes that members of the community or anyone can watch the video and do the thing with me. And I am hoping that this helps break up the rut of normalcy that we tend to face throughout the different days, especially during this quarantine. I know that it's very easy for us to fall into a rut, but that's what I'm hoping these videos will help us get out of. For example, these first videos are related to fitness. Specifically, it's me documenting my journey to a 10K. So if you're watching these videos with the intent of developing a walking routine, eventually a jogging routine, and finally an endurance, 10K routine, follow along, listen along, and we'll do just that. I'm really excited to see who sticks with me throughout this long journey, but it's going to be a long and very rewarding journey. It's something that I've wanted to do for myself for a long time now, and I've never really taken the time to do it, but I think with the formula that I've developed here, it's kept me motivated. I want to talk a little bit about the channel. I created this channel 5 weeks ago, for as long as the videos have been going on, and I believe now we've amassed about 17 subscribers, also have a couple of hundred views, and I would love to have more. I want more community engagement. I want more people to be able to watch these videos and let me know that I've made a change in their lives by giving them an outlet and giving them sort of encouragement to go out there and achieve their own fitness goals. Something I've always stood by is that if I can get just one person to join me during these walks, I'd be very excited. I'd be very happy, because I would know that I made a difference in that person's life. Now, going along with the walk, again, this walk is going to be 50 minutes. If we think back at this point, I'm not really sure if it's week 3 or week 4, we talked about what's known as the FIT formula. 3 columns for frequency, intensity, and time. If we think about it, we are increasing the time to 50 minutes, and we're increasing the intensity. We're keeping the frequency the same, because we're doing about 4 walks a week, with the exception of this week that I did 6 walks. But something I really want to make a note of here is the intensity. So I've mentioned before in some other videos that one of my main sources of inspiration is my mom. My mom loves to walk. She does it a lot, and she does it very well. She has definitely gotten in more shape because of it, and I know that she has her own goals, and she's very happy with the progress that she's made. The video that I made previous to this one, actually not previous to this one, 2 videos ago, I made it on the 31st of 2020, and I do a walk with my mom. Now, my mom walks fast. I thought I was doing brisk walking, but until I walked with my mom did I realize that I was going pretty slow. She tends to keep track of her mileage very well, and I think we ended up we only recorded maybe 2 miles or so, but I actually off camera went the extra mile with her. We got to 3 miles. We averaged, I think, maybe 17 minutes a mile, which for her was actually not good, because I think she tends to average like 14 or 15 minutes per mile. So she does have a pretty quick pace just for walking. She doesn't actually jog. And I was actually more tired, so it inspired me to come back today a little bit faster. So if you're all watching the video, I am walking a little bit faster this time with a little more intent, trying not to get too distracted by the video, because again, the main point of the video is so that we walk and actually challenge ourselves to get stronger, faster, and more capable of doing these walks. It's going to be very important for when we get to the jogging portion of our routine, because jogging, although it doesn't seem like much of an increase in intensity, it is, and it will challenge us in new ways and in ways that I hope we will be able to tackle together. So that's something that I'm going to be doing today. Definitely increasing the intensity. There's a dog on this window, so cute. It reminds me of Sawyer. We're going to be increasing the intensity here, and this is how we're going to be able to achieve those fitness goals that we want. I'm going to be making a U-turn here, and let's continue walking. So what I really want to do is do a little bit of a recap of the last couple of days and just talk about what's on my mind, past thoughts, present thoughts, and future thoughts. A lot of things have happened in the past couple of days, so I'd like to share those with you. I'm going to use the aid of my phone to help jog my memory a little bit. But instead of doing that, let me talk a little bit about some of the things that aren't on my phone, that are on my mind, that I might forget if I don't bring them up now. Something I've been very interested in recently is investment in real estate. So my girlfriend has always been interested in investing, and I say that she is the main reason why I have also become interested in investing since the past couple of years. Before I met her, it was a little bit elusive to me. I would ask my friends what they did and never really got any solid answers. But when I met her, I started doing my own research, and I realized that just with a little bit of research, you can learn a lot about a topic that may seem a little bit difficult for a lot of people. And that's not to say it has its own complexities, like with anything else, but with a little bit of time, you can learn a lot about it. So my girlfriend found a really neat property that's actually a duplex. We've been interested in multifamily homes because of house hacking, which I know house hacking is mostly for rooms, but I guess you can think of it at a different level, where instead of a room, you're renting out a whole house. And it's something that we'd like to get involved in. So this particular property was really nice. I believe it was a 5.4 or a 5.5. So one side was a 3.2 and the other side was a 2.1, so a 5.3 actually. And it was really neat because it was in a great area. It was in an area where duplexes are not really common, and so that kind of intrigued me a little more. Mind you, it was expensive, but I did my own mortgage calculator, and it turns out that it is something that I can afford with the money that I have, given some tweaks here and there, but that's something that's implementation details, as we say in software engineering. So I was able to actually get in touch with a realtor, and we sort of started a small conversation. We'll be talking a little more throughout the week, just so I can learn a little bit. One of the things that I learned that I always knew about, but I sort of solidified it now that I actually spent some time with it, is what's known as mortgage insurance. So mortgage insurance is, it's a simple concept. It's something that protects the lender and not you. And why is it a thing? Well, if you're thinking about doing a conventional loan, conventional loans are normally good for people that have good credit scores and they essentially have the money to be able to afford it. An ideal percentage of a down payment based on the cost of the house would be 20%. However, if you cannot afford 20%, mortgage insurance essentially allows you to say, well, I'm going to put 10% down, but on top of this, I'm going to pay a monthly premium that will cover that insurance. And that is to protect the lender in case you fall back on your payment. So it is cool because, again, it allows you to make a lower down payment initially and have those premiums absorbed into your monthly, but it protects the lender in case you fall back on those payments and you can't make them up. This is why 20% is better, because you can avoid that monthly premium altogether. Now, some private mortgage lenders, private insurance or private mortgage insurance lenders will actually let you pay this fee ahead of time without a penalty. So it's really nice because you don't have to worry about it being available for the lifetime of the loan. So if you're interested in paying off something a little bit earlier, a little bit ahead of schedule, as probably a lot of us would be, you know, if you look at the amount that you'd actually end up paying if you did this for the duration of the loan, sometimes it's like double. So you want to pay it off quick, you can actually do that with some of them. So that's something I thought was really cool. Again, it was something that was always on my mind, never really understood it. Now, Florida and other states have their own first-time buyer programs, but you really have to read into it because some of them are targeted toward people with lower credit scores, different ranges of salaries, and sometimes, you know, it might sound desirable to put a 3% down payment on a house, but you have to understand the consequences, or maybe not consequences, you just have to understand the side effects of doing something like that before you just decide, hey, 3%, yeah, it looks good on paper, but there's gonna be some hidden costs in there if I don't really pay attention to what I'm doing. So again, it was one of those moments that made me feel just older, a little more mature, because, you know, I'm looking into investment properties, I'm learning about mortgage insurance, I'm learning why it's desirable to put a 20% down payment on a house, learning about duplexes, so on and so forth. Really cool stuff. That's just a random thing I wanted to bring to the front here, see what you all. All right, well, I just realized the house is actually for rent and not for sale, so not much I can do with that. I'm not looking to rent anymore, I want to buy. So, nice house. It would be cool if it was for sale, unfortunately not, but hey, there are many other fish in the sea. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the walk. We've done about 20 minutes and we've been walking fairly briskly, at least I have, hopefully you all have been as well. And we got about 30 minutes left on this walk. We've covered some good ground on random topics, and we're gonna dive into the same questions that we have been thinking about earlier. Now, I know it's a long list, and I know that some of the questions repeat themselves or seem to repeat themselves. So what I'm gonna do from now on is, if there's one of these 250 questions that I read that I feel like we've already covered, I'm gonna go ahead and skip it, just so that we keep things interesting and we're not sort of just giving out the same answer every time. Okay, so gonna be looking up here, 250 questions to talk about. Oh my god, the same website, actually, good questions to ask. The same website has another, so we were doing 250 quality conversation starters. The other one has 350 good questions to ask. Oh man, this is good, but we're gonna save that for another time. Okay, we got a load of questions to go over here. Okay, so let's see. Silliest fear, smell, funniest person. I think we are on question 70. Question 70 is, what makes you nervous? What makes me nervous is public speaking. Despite me thinking or believing that I'm charismatic and I'm good with people and talking to people, which I still strongly do believe, I'm very nervous with public speaking. And I know that every time I do it well. But just it's the anticipation. I can go days with freaking out, feeling like I can't sleep because of just like a public speaking project I'm gonna be giving out in like the following days. So not very fun. I really don't like it, but sometimes these things just need to get done, and hopefully with more practice I'll just feel more comfortable about it. Okay, so who's the funniest person you've met? This is an interesting question. So it says not necessarily a comedian, but I will say that my favorite comedian is Sebastian Maniscalco. I think Sebastian, I like his topics, which tends to relate a lot to family values, and he also does a lot of like physical comedy, which I think is really great. He's someone I really enjoy. I also enjoy listening to Tim Dillon. I think he's just so random, but in a good way, not like a chaotic random. I just think he is actually really savvy, and he's very knowledgeable. So it's one of those people you shouldn't just disqualify because of certain things they say. I think what he says is, you know, just take a second to just listen to it and appreciate it and form your own opinions based on what he says. Now, as far as friends go, I had a best friend growing up called Kevin. I thought Kevin was very funny. Definitely one of those guys that people had asked him, you know, you ever think about becoming a comedian or something like this, or doing a stand-up? I thought he was really funny. And that's maybe it right now. Can't really think. I mean, I have other friends that are really funny, but I think their humor is just so inside jokey that maybe it's not, you can't apply it to like a more general audience. Like you're laughing based on things that you learned about at a previous time. Okay, so let's keep going on here. What weird or useless talent do you have? Wiggling ears. I actually can wiggle my ears. Burping the alphabet, farting on command. Humans are weird. I guess I'll say wiggling my ears. My girlfriend's fascinated with that, and I don't do it often. I remember doing it a lot when I was in elementary school. People would ask me to do it, and I'd do it, and I didn't really think much of it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was just normal, to be honest. So I guess that's a useless talent that I have. What are some strange beliefs that some people have? It says be careful with this one because they may end up labeling one of your beliefs as strange. Strange beliefs that some people have. I don't know, maybe like the flat earth conspiracy stuff and space is fake and the anti-vaxxer movement. I'm not sure. That's maybe a little too political for this channel, but this is a really nice house. I'm looking more into houses now since I'm more interested in buying. I'll look at a house and appreciate the work they've done on it, and they've done great work in this one too. I love the simplicity of the fence. It's just normal wood, nothing crazy about it. It's normal wood, but it's also polished. It's polished up. You know, these people even decorated their trees like right outside their house. Very cool. I like it. It's very simple. It's just nice. It's a good finish. Okay, who would be the worst person to be stuck in an elevator with? How about the best person to be stuck in an elevator with? Okay, I just want to appreciate this house again. It's super modern. Very cool. Yeah, they've definitely done some really good work on this one. I like it. Okay, who would be the best person to get stuck in an elevator with? Probably a person that knows what to do when you're stuck in an elevator. And the worst person is anyone else. What was the best birthday wish or gift you've ever received? Well, I got a pair of Crocs for Christmas this year from my girlfriend, and I wear them all the time. So I mean, when we're thinking about presents that are practical and you can use immediately, the Crocs have been amazing. That's a odd sounding plane. TV conversation starters. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I might just skip that section. Movie conversation starters. Book conversation starters. I was hoping for like some more general questions like about life. Music conversation starters. App conversation starters. Sports conversation starters. Man, we're still on like 150. Restaurant. Okay, here we go. Restaurant conversation starters. I do like food, so let's see what we gotta say. Here we go. Real estate. Is this for sale? Not sure. Doesn't say. Missing out on an opportunity right there. Okay, what restaurant do you eat at the most? The restaurant we eat at the most is a sushi restaurant right next door. They know my name. I walk in, they say, hey, Rafael, pick wherever we like to eat, and they know what we want to order. And if we order anything different than that, they're so surprised, because normally stick to the same thing. Our meal normally goes like this. For a appetizer, we order fried calamari. and then I'll end up getting, my girlfriend sometimes gets this plate called posamaki, or she'll get a JB roll. Either way, I'll end up getting a salad, normal salad with peanut dressing on it, and then I'll get myself a shrimp tempura or a dragon roll, and then we'll finish off with tempura ice cream. That's normally what our dinner looks like. It's very cost effective. It's fantastic food. The service is awesome, and I've been so loyal to that restaurant. I wish I can honestly buy a piece of it because I love it so much, and it feels good to go to a place that you trust and you really do enjoy. What's the worst fast food restaurant? So I'm gonna say Subway. Now you might think, man, that was a fast answer. Well, when I was younger, Subway was awesome. You know, I used to go there a lot with my brother. I used to call it Yabus, which is just Subway in reverse. And I used to get the meatball, I mean, the meatball marinara sub is a classic staple of Subway and really just subs in general. And then I probably branched out toward like the chicken teriyaki sub, which my brother introduced me to. But recently I went once to try out a Philly cheesesteak, which was, man, I know some of you may be cringing at the fact that I got a Philly cheesesteak from Subway. Like, at the least get one from Jersey Mike's or a local area. But I got it from Subway and it was sad. It was so bad. Now, I'm not a picky guy. I tend to go with the flow. I'm pretty optimistic, and I ate the whole thing, but I didn't like it. It was just not a good time. It was the worst sandwich I've ever had, at least in recent memory. So, nothing against Subway. If you love Subway, that's cool. I'll go to Subway with you if you decide to go there. Just not like my vibe anymore, at least. All right, what is the best restaurant in your area? That's tough because I haven't been to every restaurant yet. And I say yet because I would love to keep trying new things, but I don't know, probably the Sushi Spot. Sushi Spot's really good. It's really close. It's really cost effective. Again, great service, just good around good time, all around good time. So if you're in the mood for sushi, go there. And I know I'm saying go there as if you all know where it is, but just to try and keep a little bit of anonymity, I won't disclose the information at the sushi restaurant. But you know where the video is located, so look up good sushi restaurants in the area and hopefully you'll find a good one. What is the fanciest restaurant you have eaten at? The fanciest restaurant I ate at was a restaurant in Miami called Komodo. It was for my 2-year anniversary with Paola, and it was phenomenal. It was so good. I made a last-minute reservation, completely honest here. Maybe, I think the night before the anniversary, and I was able to get a table. Mind you, it's during coronavirus time, so probably you can do that with a lot of places. I don't know if pre-corona it was that way, but wow. We had, if I remember correctly, we had some Wagyu steak tacos, which my girlfriend absolutely loved. And we're hoping to go back there at some point to get the same tacos again for an appetizer. After that, I got this short rib plate. Now, the short rib plate is cool because it's supposed to be family style, but you know, I always joke around, my parents always joke around me saying, oh, you know, you're a growing boy, you need to eat. And I ate that whole thing. It was this massive piece of short rib, and I also got some fried rice as a side. My girlfriend got some sushi, but I ate the whole thing. I ate maybe 70% of the fried rice and she had 30%, but it was so good. Not only was it good, the whole vibe was good. I mean, that's one of the things Miami really excels at. Fort Lauderdale is a great place to just come and hang out with friends. And if you want a little bit something, you know, a little bit something more relaxing, come here. To say about it, is this something that you are all interested in? Have you all done your own investing? And if so, how has that gone for you? Has anyone done, you know, multifamily home investing? I know there are duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes. There are a variety of units out there for really any use case. So my hope is that I can start with something like this and maybe branch out. I know that real estate tends to give some of the best return on investment, so I think it is worth to take my time to learn about it and understand what it might mean for my future. So now that I've got that out of my system, let's keep talking a little bit about what I've done since the new year. So if I go back here, my last video was on the 1st. So I'm not really sure what I talked about on the 1st. I probably talked about going to Chili's on the 31st and having fun with my family, not being there with my girlfriend. So let's imagine that we already talked about the first, so let's see what the second has to give us. So the second was, okay, the second was Saturday. Yesterday was a pretty relaxed day. It was actually the first day that I had a responsibility for my web development tutoring apart from my PTO. I was responsible for giving a live coding session, which I think went very well. We talked a little more than what was expected. For example, it wasn't just about the assignment at hand. We were able to talk a little bit about security. We talked about a tool known as Git and some other questions the students had. Believe it or not, having been disconnected from coding for 2 weeks, I thought I would be a little more nervous to be giving a coding session because I've really disconnected from programming altogether. But I think because I was disconnected, somehow it made the whole experience a lot more bearable. It made it easier. Also, it was a small group of students. It was about 4 of them. Well, 4 included myself, so it was 3. So it was a very intimate group, but it went very well. And I really hope that they appreciated the time that we all spent together during that session. So after that, let me think a little bit, because even though it was yesterday, okay, well, yesterday I know what I did. I spent the rest of the day playing Fallout New Vegas. I spoke about this a while ago, and I haven't touched Cyberpunk in a long time. Now, my girlfriend made a joke about this. You know, what happened to Cyberpunk? Do you not like Cyberpunk? No, I do like Cyberpunk, but at the moment, I got the itch to play Fallout. And Fallout, like I've always mentioned, I don't want to keep repeating myself here, but I truly think it's a phenomenal game, one of the best RPGs of all time. And I got the itch to play it again, so I did. And do I regret playing it? No, I'm still playing it, and I will continue playing it when I get back home after this walk. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's just so well written. I'm always learning something new about it. It just is the game that keeps on giving. So that's what I did on Saturday, and I had a lot of fun doing that because that was like truly my last PTO day. Today is just like a regular Sunday, as if I was just spending a regular weekend from work. Today, Paola and I decided to go get breakfast at one of our favorite breakfast spots. Well, it was one of our favorite breakfast spots until they messed up our order this morning. And I guess they told us that they had 2 people that were not there for staff. They were understaffed, and so things didn't go exactly as planned, and we were a little less than pleased. But you know, what can you do? You still have to enjoy what you have. We made the best of it. And then, you know, we just did some groceries, a typical Sunday tasks, and we came home, and now we're just hanging out. I'm really excited because tomorrow Paola has an interview for a company that she has been studying for the past 2 weeks, a little more. And frankly, she has been studying a lot. She's been doing a lot of studying, and I'm really happy with how far she has come. It's incredible with, for example, if you just do efficient studying, how much you can actually do in a short amount of time. So for that, I really do feel like she will get the job, and I think it's crazy if she didn't get the job. So fingers crossed. She has the interview tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'm sure she's gonna do great, and I'm really hoping that next weekend we can celebrate her success and really just start the year off right. And I want to stop here to think about that last statement I just mentioned, starting the year off right. 2020 has been such a difficult time for so many of us that I think all of us are just optimistic that 2021 will be better. But I really do feel that way. During this time off, and I'm sure many others feel this way, we have learned so much about ourselves. And now I'm sort of hoping to apply that wisdom that I've gained over the past couple of weeks into 2021. I think 2021 will be one of my most fruitful years for a variety of reasons that I'll be talking about over the next couple of days, and maybe even in today's walk. But I'm just really excited to see how the year goes and how life in general goes. One of the things I'm most excited about, of course, is the normalcy that we're all hoping 2021 brings, and the ability to hopefully begin traveling again. I just realized, as a side note, and I don't mean to talk about Fallout again, but there is a piece of downloadable content that's called the Sierra Madre Casino. And in order to start the downloadable content, you have to listen to one of the radio stations in the game. And when you start listening to it, there is a loop of a woman that talks about beginning again and all of the different positive outcomes that you get from that. So for a second here, I feel like I sound like that lady talking about beginning again, but it's true. I feel like a lot of us are beginning again in this year, 2021, and I hope that everyone listening and everyone in the world is able to accomplish whatever it is that they set their minds to. Sweet. So that pretty much catches us up for today. It gives us a good platform to start off with tomorrow to see what the first week of work will bring. Funny enough, tomorrow I decided to restore my work computer earlier during my PTO week, and I have not yet finalized that process. So tomorrow, when I'm supposed to log into work, I won't be able to log into work. I'm going to have to, via Slack on my phone, get in touch with someone in IT that could help me restore my computer, or at least just finish the remaining steps as part of the setup. Shouldn't be hard, but I'm hoping it's quick, so that at least by 9 a.m. max, I can be logged in and ready to go. Kind of excited to get back into work, back into the groove of things. It's good to be in a groove. It's good to have time off, but it's also good to be in the groove. It's good to be in the zone. It's good to just have things to look forward to, because with hard work comes, you know, with hard work comes good times. So this is a really nice house, and I should ask the owner how much it is. I wonder if I should ask him. Maybe I should just ask him as part of the video. That wouldn't really be part of a walk though. Let me pause it here and join you all in a couple of minutes. By the way, we're at 20 minutes. We got about half an hour left, making good progress. See you all in a bit. Less chaos come here, but you can't get the vibe right in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, Miami has that party vibe, that feel-good vibe, and that's what we got at Komodo. And the drinks were on point, the vibe was on point, the food was on point, service was on point. The only thing that could have used a little bit of work was the dessert, but I think that's the best food I ever had. And I'm looking forward to what the 3-year anniversary will bring, because, you know, kind of have to keep the streak going. So we'll see what I think of next. What kind of interior do you like a restaurant to have? I don't really mind the interior. As long as it's clean, I'm okay. And I do, to be completely honest, this might sound a little bit picky, or I'm not really sure of the word, but I have a pretty strict, like, I pay attention to ratings. I don't write my own ratings unless I'm very loyal to the restaurant. For example, I wrote a rating for the sushi spot. I gave it a 5-star rating, but I tend to go after places that have like at least a 4.5. Doesn't need to be expensive. It just means that all the check boxes are ticked. You can find very, very affordable restaurants. I'm talking about like less than 20 bucks for 2 people, for a couple, that are at least 4.5. That's just the rating I hold myself to, and it's worked out for me very well, so I don't feel the need to go back on it. I'm just gonna keep it. Now, do I make exceptions? Yes, of course I make exceptions. Like, sometimes people give a place a bad rating because the bathroom didn't have enough towels. It's a rating that's completely unrelated to the restaurant itself and its mission, if you understand what I'm saying. So in that case, I won't give the restaurant a bad review. But yeah, I don't really care about the interior as long as it's a good place to eat, as long as the food's good. What is the worst restaurant you have ever eaten at? Well, I feel like I've already answered that. Ooh, okay, if you opened a restaurant, what kind of food would you serve? So 2 things I want to say about this. In front of the place that I work, there was a lot that was available for more than a year. Now, during this time, half of it probably was spent without Paola, so I wasn't even thinking about the potential of investment there. The other half was, but even still, too early in the relationship, not really into the whole investment thing yet. But looking back on it, you know, they say hindsight is 20/20. Looking back on it, I feel that I would have loved to purchase that lot, which, by the way, was right next to a Starbucks, which is great because that just drives traffic. But I would have loved to open a Cuban restaurant. There aren't many Cuban restaurants in Fort Lauderdale, and if there are, they're overly priced. I'm talking about a raw Miami style Cuban restaurant, just the bare necessities, Cuban coffee, you know, steak sandwiches, awesome breakfast, the little cafeteria side with the window. That's all you need. You need some real Cuban people, some real Cuban food. That's what I would love to open in Fort Lauderdale. Like there isn't any of that here. I would love to do something like that. That's one thing, and that was one location that I had an idea. There was another location by the beach. It's a corner unit that's always going up for sale. The restaurants, I have seen at least 3 restaurants go there and they fail. Either their rent's too expensive, they're not getting enough customers, or people just get bored. Again, I would do the same thing. I want to get some croquetas by the sea, you know, by the ocean. If I'm hanging out with some friends, hook it up with a steak sandwich. Give me tostones, pastelitos, you know, these sorts of things. I would have loved to do that. That's the type of restaurant that I would open, and trust me, I have considered it because I love food so much that I feel like it's something that I could be passionate about. And passion is really important when it comes to opening up something that you are going to be representing. So that was a good question. I like that one. What is the strangest themed restaurant you have ever heard of? I don't know about strange. It's not strange, but a very unique one was one that used to be open in New York. I think it was called Mars 2112. My father took us there more than 10 years ago now, and I think it closed actually in like 2007. But it was like this Mars themed restaurant that you had to like get on an attraction to get to it. So I thought that was very unique. It was super touristy, super fun, especially when you're just like young. I was in my early teens, so the whole concept was really good to me and to my brother as well. And it was like one of the coolest things I'd ever done at that time, because again, you get on this like spaceship and you travel to Mars, and then you get there and it's extremely themed. Like think about Star Wars and Disney World, like themed to that level, and you're just eating and having a good time. So again, not strange, but certainly unique. I'm gonna take a pause here and check on the time. So we're at 16 minutes, I think. Okay, so we have about 14 minutes left here. Let's continue going with our questions. What would you eat at a restaurant that was really dirty if the food was amazing? Oof. Depends how dirty. If there are cockroaches, no. I'm sorry. Like, I'll take the food to go. As long as there's no insects, I guess. But if there's like mold and the seats are cracked, and yeah, I don't know. I'd rather take a really good restaurant with decent food, or like below average food, than amazing food at a crappy looking restaurant. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong saying that. I wonder how you all feel about something like that, but I don't think I'd enjoy that too much. What is the most disgusting thing you have heard happened at a restaurant? I don't have any horror stories for restaurants, so I really can't answer that question. Although I remember the whole hoax with like the finger and the chili at Wendy's. I think that was a hoax. I think I saw that it was fact-checked and it actually never happened. I don't know if it was for marketing. I mean, certainly there's no such thing as bad publicity, and that probably drove, well, maybe that actually probably drove people away from Wendy's. Probably was not good for them. But that's like the only thing even mildly related to a horror story that I can think of. What was your favorite restaurant when you were a child? Okay, I don't know why these two memories sprung into my mind, but I've mentioned this one before, Rinconcito Latino in Miami. We went to it when it was a little nook. Think about like Nook's Cranny in Animal Crossing. It was a little nook which maybe held 20 people. Now it's since absorbed 2 or 3 of the side businesses, and it has become a staple of South Miami food. Very good food, and it was awesome because we'd always go there every weekend pretty much. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you name it, we were there, and the people really know us, and we're very loyal to that restaurant. Similarly to how I am with the sushi place, I feel the same way about this place. So I think it's just nice going somewhere where, hey, here we go. It's nice to go to a place where everybody knows your name. A little homage to Cheers right there. And the next one I would say is Burger King croissants for breakfast. Because when we would go to Disney World sometimes growing up, we'd stop by Burger King and get some croissants. And I think Burger King croissants are probably one of the best fast food items you can ever get anywhere. Prove me wrong. Yes or yes, as Tim Dillon says. Ooh, travel conversation starters. I like this one too. Where would you like to travel next? I have a couple of local places in mind that I'm not going to disclose here because I know Paolo's going to listen to them and they're surprises. But apart from that, I'd probably say New York or Colorado. We want to see snow next year if we can. So I'm hoping that we can make that happen. Hoping that New York clears up. I'm not really sure of the situation in Colorado, but hopefully again everything goes back to normalcy and we can just really have fun and go to those places. Maybe Boston, maybe some other states in the Midwest that I just don't really know anything about, you know? There's so much to see and so much to do. So much to do, so much to see. So, you know, what's wrong with taking the back streets? You'll never know if you don't go. And you'll never shine if you don't grow. So, you know, hey now, we're all rock stars. Okay, so continuing on here. What is the longest plane trip you have taken to Las Vegas? I think it was 6 hours. It was terrifying. I don't like flying on planes and I still don't like flying today. I think that I'm able to manage my anxiety a little better, but it's still terrifying. But you just have to really breathe deeply and just understand that people are doing this every single day. I try to put it in perspective. I tell myself, you know, there are a lot of people that are doing this every single day and nothing happens to them. So it's okay. We're gonna be fine. These are trained pilots. So yeah, I think it was that one. And you can imagine, of course, we had to do it twice. So it was not fun going there and it was not fun coming back. And even for short ones, like from here to Orlando, you know, what, 45 minutes? Still scary, but it is what it is. What's the best way to travel? Plane, car, train? I would love to get a RV. I see so many RVs around me and I understand it's probably a little bit of high maintenance. It's like owning a boat, I would imagine. I think owning a boat probably requires more maintenance, but an RV could be really cool, but you really have to be the adventurous type, you know? I would really want to go across the contiguous United States with it. We'll see what happens. It's a big investment, but it could be a cool one. I think that'd be the best way to travel. Apart from that, I would say car is the closest you can get to an RV without, you know, owning one. And I can take my dog with me, so that's nice. Where's the most relaxing place you have been? The most relaxing place I have been. I went on a cruise a little over 10 years ago and I went to Mexico. Well, it wasn't me, it was my family, my immediate family. We went to Mexico and I had quesadillas on the beach. And that was very relaxing. The weather was phenomenal and the food was great. And I also had a couple of Coronas. So all that was really cool. It was also very relaxing. Apart from that, I'd probably say most relaxing place I have been, probably some of the resorts in Disney World, like just on a hot day to be sitting by the pool. That's like simple, but it's so great. I wish I had a better answer. I know some of you again cringe at the idea that a place like Disney would be the most relaxing place for me, but hey, it's relative. Do you prefer traveling alone or with a group? Depends. For example, if I am going to Las Vegas, I want to travel with some of my best friends on the West Coast. But if I'm going on like a romantic trip, I'd want to go with just Paola. Just depends on the situation. What do you think of tour group packages? I know Disney has a really good one. They have Adventures by Disney. It's expensive, but they take you to some really, really cool places. So I probably want to sign up for that if I ever am able to afford something like that. I don't remember if it's like a subscription or it's like a one-time fee or if it's part of like their vacation club, but yeah, something along those lines.